29th October 1999. A black day for Odisha. The super cyclone caught it in a complete state of unpreparedness, badgering it at never-seen-before wind speeds of over 300 km per hour. No one across Odisha had any clue of what preparations were required. Even IMD's predictive technology was too primitive. There were no warnings, no planned evacuations, no safe buildings for shelter, no relief. The super cyclone ravaged over half the state, snatching away more than 10,000 human lives, besides millions in animal casualties. From that day, when the state was reduced to being a mute spectator to total devastation, to today, when such cyclonic storms still continue to lash Odisha regularly, but the body count has been successfully brought down to double digits, and off late to almost zero casualties, has been nothing short of a miracle. Leadership is what has made the difference. Strong, clear-minded, visionary leadership. Shri Naveen Patnaik took over the reins as the Chief Minister of Odisha in 2000. And since then, things have only looked up and better. Odisha has always been prone to natural disasters. Taking cognizance of this fact, the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha realized that this needs intense preparations right down till the grassroots level. We can't stop these natural disasters from occurring, but we can definitely prepare ourselves to fight them. And that's exactly what he has led the state to do. His "Every life is precious" motto, leading to adopting a strict zero casualty mission, has kept the administration across all levels at tenterhooks, making them responsible as well as responsive.
In the last 2 decades, we have strengthened our disaster management system and emerged as one of the leading states in facing the disaster with the core principle of every life is precious.
Over 2 decades of learning has now been rolled into improving response capacity, precision planning, and immaculate implementation. This, coupled with a robust institutional framework, strong community-level participation of all stakeholders, and capacity development, has strengthened the state's ability to deal with the situation. The first step to Odisha's world-class disaster management system was to become self-reliant. On 29th December 1999, the Odisha State Disaster Management Authority was formed, followed by a policy to fight natural disasters. At the national front, the NDMA was formed 6 years later. Subsequent to that, Odisha also established the Odisha Disaster Rapid Action Force in 2001. This was the first such state-level response team across India. In fact, the NDRF was formed much later. Beyond this, it was also realized that simply forming a response team won't solve the problem. Informing and orienting the masses on how to effectively fight such calamities together was also required. Resultantly, community-level capacities were strengthened so as to not make them dependent on the government every time. Right from Gram Panchayats to blocks to districts onto the state level, a robust framework was laid out on how to fight the calamities together effectively, which instilled a much-needed confidence and fighting spirit in everyone. This has also been aided by empowering the Panchayati Raj institutions and women's self-help groups to strengthen district and local administrations in dealing with pre, during and post-disaster rescues, evacuations, first aid training, shelter management, relief operations and early recovery actions. Hand in hand, all elected representatives, right from the Honorable Chief Minister himself to the Chief Secretary to all ward members, right down to the lowest level functionaries, are all being trained in various aspects of disaster management. The Odisha State Disaster Management Authority, on its end, has been making use of state-of-art technology in forecasting early warning disseminations, monitoring rescue operations, rehabilitation, damage assessment, and reconstruction. Resultantly, the state's robust institutional capacity has been helping the state take timely decisions with respect to operations management, keeping people in the center of every action, backed by a strong visionary leadership, keeping a close watch on the operations and developments, guided by the central philosophy of saving every life. Not only have all panchayats been empowered, till now over 23,000 villages have been trained to fight such natural calamities. Over 1,000 cyclone and flood centers have been built across the state, equipped with 32 types of equipment and machines, such as DG sets, first aid kits, woodcutters, and many more, to help ground-level communities prepare better for disasters. Roads, electricity, housing are made cyclone and flood-proof. The state government is investing heavily in making its coastal power barriers disaster-resistant. The state is also maximizing concrete housing, due to which evacuations across coastal villages have been substantially reduced. The state government is also strengthening the capacities of all fire service stations right down till the block levels. Post-cyclone, psychosocial counseling is also being provided to people who've been unable to deal with the trauma. It's noteworthy that Odisha is not only the first state in India, it's also the first state across 18 Indian Oceanic nations to be a tsunami-prepared state. In fact, 2 villages have been UNESCO certified as tsunami-ready. Within the next 1 year, 388 villages will be tsunami-ready. As a result, despite facing 6 cyclones in just the last 3 years, including 3 summer cyclones, the state has continued to demonstrate its developed capacity in mitigating such disasters. When this extremely severe cyclone hit Odisha in 2019, over 1 million people were evacuated within 24 hours flat, an astounding and hitherto unmatched record in human evacuations. A state which sought help from its neighboring states in 1999 is now sending its disaster experts and support to multiple Indian states like West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Bihar and Meghalaya. Nevertheless, a lot more of such result-oriented efforts are still required when it comes to long-term disaster-resilient infrastructure for mitigating the adverse impact of disasters, not only on human lives, but also on rebuilding livelihoods. With this in mind, the state government has even started mainstreaming disaster risk reduction into the governance framework of every department. Such efforts have been fetching international laurels and acclaim for Odisha, including the United Nations appreciation. With its resilient leadership, along with the state government's consistent efforts, the state marches on towards not just being a model state for the nation, but for the entire world.